everybody. So I am home this week, so therefore I am pre-recording some of the podcasts and then going live with them, and then they will re-air at another time during the month. Kind of happen to do podcasts that way right now because just the schedule and trucking and trying to fit it all in, and it's harder to do it from the truck. So today we have Keaira. She is a person that I met many years ago, became really good friends with, and yeah, she's just been an amazing person in my life and someone that I look up to as a friend and just value her friendship. And she's just always been there for me. So I wanted you guys to meet her, and so I'll bring her in. Hi, stranger. It's hard to track her down sometimes. She's always doing stuff, always busy with work and stuff. So we stay in contact over the years, but we don't get to see each other that much. It's been a minute since we've seen each other.
It has. I'm sorry.
It happens. It's life. So tell us a little bit about you and your experience.
Well, I used to be a trucker. I got my CDL in 2013 and did OTR for many years. And somehow along the way, I ended up being a safety driver for two autonomous trucking companies who are working on autonomous semi-truck development. I've done all kinds of things while trucking. I've slept on a movie set in a truck. I've built CG models when I was driving teams while the truck was moving. So, yeah.
And you even helped with movies too, correct? Like there was some stuff you did prop-wise.
Well, I was an extra in Renegades the Requiem. I also did some CG models for that. So, yeah, that was fun. I was working with Star Trek actors.
And we started actually at the same company. So we both were Celadon. And
Yep.
We didn't know it at the time when we met, but then afterwards we kind of got that connection. But we both had started at Celadon and knew Wendy Cheney and all the great people, Brian and all the people from there. So we chatted about that and became really, really close friends. And I don't know, she's always there whenever I need her. And then vice versa, whenever she needs me or needs an ear to bend. So we've always just been there for each other. And Ricky too, but Ricky's always quiet in the background. She knows this, but
Yeah.
And now for you, you've done so many different things. So I really don't know where to start, actually. But at the same time, you've done so many different things. But you've also had a lot of experiences that people, I don't think normal people would have, a normal person or an average person would have. So you've just had a lot of things happen in life to get you to where you are now. And then, you are a mom, you have kids. And that actually, so I kind of want to talk about that if that's okay. Because I know that a part of Keaira's life that a lot of people won't know is Keaira experienced the loss of her spouse while on the road, which is hard for everyone, hard for anyone to go through. And I know that she experienced that, and that was a very hard thing for her, and didn't get home in time for.
Yeah.
And then ended up being a single parent, basically, and trucking and all the other stuff.
I almost quit trucking because of that.
Right.
But I had a great team at Celadon who convinced me to come back out on the road, and my sister-in-law Amanda, who was awesome. She said, "Look, we can look after my son Ian. You've got this route that would get you home every weekend, so there's no need to totally quit."
Yeah.
So worked out because the route was actually to the Ford Mustang assembly plant in Flat Rock. So I actually thought that was a pretty cool route.
Yes, because she loves Mustangs and she's owned Mustangs and all kinds of cool stuff. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, that's something you can't plan. You can't plan when things happen and all this type of stuff, and it's really hard to do that. But when me and you was talking about having a podcast and bringing you back, I said, a lot of people don't realize the importance of like where trucking can take you. You can start at one place, and you may think that trucking is the end of it, but it's not, because you have took your trucking career and went into, now you're test driving cars and you've done a lot of different things. You lived in California at one point.
Yeah.
You've done like the autonomous trucks, and I know people don't like the autonomous trucks because they think it's going to take away jobs, but at the same time, I don't feel that way because I've watched you and what you've done, and they're not, and even Keaira, she also did this with you, and
at one point we're working at the same company.
yeah, and so it's like, but it wasn't that the trucks were completely, the way they depict it right now is the trucks are completely alone, they do everything on their own, and they're taking away your job. And so I'd like for you to talk a little bit about that, how that works, because it's not really true.
No, the trucks on the highway, when they're in autonomy, there's always a driver behind the wheel. So they watch the system to make sure the truck's doing what it's supposed to, and if it I don't know, turns slightly, then the driver catches it and takes over.
Okay.
So in my mind, I think they're pretty safe, and they're only going to get better.
Right.
So
do you think it'll ever get to a point where there's no driver in the truck?
Yeah.
Eventually. But doesn't that also, like, so wait, I remember, if it correctly, because we went to Uber together and everything, and they talked about this, and that there would be still jobs for drivers, because basically when it gets to an off ramp, you'll have like a shuttle driver that picks up it to do the delivery part.
Yeah.
And so it's not a complete, end to driver, using a driver is what I'm trying to say.
Right. So a lot of the companies are focused on the middle mile, basically the highway driving,
the long haul part. Yep.
Yeah, which can be boring.
Yeah.
But when navigating the cities and stuff, that's when a human being is needed.
Mm-hmm.
Because getting a 53-foot trailer down the narrow streets is quite difficult.
So many variables and so many things to that.
Yeah.
I don't. I just hate how people depict it all the time. Oh, that's horrible. It's going to take the jobs away, and it's not.
Right. And the other thing is, there are so many trucks on the road, and there are so few of these autonomous trucks that you're still going to be able to do your own driving.
Right. So trucking has led you down a road, and I know that some people's like, oh, it's a waste of time and you can't make money and all that. And so how do you feel about trucking?
I don't think it's a waste of time or a dead-end career. I definitely think that it is a great place to be, especially if you're single. Mm-hmm. I will add that, because when you're driving truck, you could essentially make that a tiny home.
Right.
So you could save up for whatever you wanted. Pay off that new car, or save up for a down payment on a house. And you have such small expense, since you're basically being paid to travel.
And so for you, all that experience of trucking has led you into other jobs, and it qualified you to do other things. And so, a lot of people thinks it's a dead end, that, you just go into trucking and that's it. But I know with you, it has helped you get other jobs and do really cool stuff. So can you talk about that a little bit?
So the job that I do, I'm a systems test engineer / data collection technician / test driver in the automotive industry. Yeah, I wear a lot of hats, I guess. But we're helping to make cars safer, and I get to do cool things like I was driving a Corvette not too long ago because we're doing stuff for that.
So you just test it? Is that what you do? Is like you're
No, we go around collecting, testing the camera systems and whatnot.
So just making sure everything works properly.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Technology improves, so we've got to make sure that everything works right, and that if it's not, then it gets, changed and tweaked until everything's perfect.
And I do know you still go now, even though I know you don't drive truck now, but you still do stuff with trucks from time to time. I know that in what you're doing.
Kind of. It's like I've driven large pickup trucks, like 3,500 type trucks,
right?
That require really long trailers, and at a certain point, these vehicles still need to be operated by CDL holders. So
it's more like the hot shots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm there's only 2 of us that have a CDL where I work, and I'm the only one with actual on the road experience.
So do you ever miss over the road?
From time to time.
And what do you miss about it?
Just seeing everything, like my trips to Washington, Montana, Utah.
Just going across country and seeing everything.
Yeah.
That's like, for me, I think when we end up doing the same routes all the time, I'm like, I want to go to Colorado. I want to go to, I get that way from time to time when you're doing the same route. It's like, I want to do that. Yeah, I want to do something. But, and when you're driving at the time, you don't always appreciate it so much until you're not doing it. Because you're out there and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get home. I can't wait to do something. And then, you kind of get that way. But, so yeah, how do you, I'm trying to think. So with everything, and where are you at now? Because I know you went from Indiana, yeah, Indiana to California to
Tennessee.
Tennessee, and then Pennsylvania.
Yep.
And then now
Michigan.
Okay. Yep. So why Michigan? It was the job itself, or?
Yeah, I moved up here specifically for the job. And, as a trucker, I used to really be irritated coming up here. I hated coming here. As you know, like I-75 or I-65, the roads were not great.
Right. You knew instantly when you hit the Michigan line.
Yeah. There's a big difference between states. But now that I've been here almost 3 years, I actually really like it here.
So has Ian come to visit, or?
Yeah. He still lives in Tennessee, but he comes up here for Christmas and
holidays and stuff.
Yeah.
That's good. So, I mean, Michigan is, we just talked to a trans woman yesterday who also lives in Michigan,
Mhm.
and but Michigan is a very trans friendly and LGBTQ friendly state. There's a lot of support within that state, and if it wasn't so cold, I'd probably go there. But I I hate the cold. But I mean,
It's not cold all the time.
right. But so, how do you feel about living there? Like, what is the atmosphere, culture? Like, how is everything, and how do they treat you?
Yeah, I've not been treated poorly. I like it here because of car culture. You
Hmm.
know, the Woodward Dream Cruise is on my doorstep, basically. I mean, it's like the biggest car show in the world.
Right.
You know,
That's awesome, though.
every year I just like can leave work when it starts and go down Woodward and see all these amazing cars. And, for me that's great.
Right.
Um, on the in my free time, I also, as you've probably seen on my Facebook page, I've gotten into being a Ghostbuster.
Yes. So, talk to us about that.
So it started off as me getting a proton pack, and Frozen Empire was just coming out, so that was a few years ago.
But you modified yours and did all this other stuff to it, and
Yeah, I got my hands on one of the HasLab packs, which was a limited run that Hasbro did, and over the over months, I've taken out the original internals. What started off as like one board, one speaker, and a smaller board for the volume control
uh-huh.
has turned into several boards with because of GP Star. So the sound's improved. There's two speakers in there that are pretty big when you compare it to the original.
You've dressed up in the outfit. You've got like the
Yes.
logos on your car.
Yeah, I went wild. I have a, a 2015 Acadia that I've put the light bar on. I've got the decals and everything on. Um, I've got the whole costume, the all the equipment.
That's
So
awesome, though.
I'm with the Detroit Ghostbusters,
Hmm.
and we do charity events. We don't take money.
Right.
All the money that happens at the event goes to the proceeds for the event. So we're just there strictly to support and help give everyone a good time.
Okay. I mean, everyone has a pastime and something that they. So, do you still do the car shows though? I know you go to the like going to them, but do you participate anymore or?
Well, when I got rid of my Mustang, I kind of quit. Um,
Because when you was in California, you actually had there was a Mustang group that you belonged to. I
yeah,
do remember that.
the San Jose Mustangs.
Yeah, I do
Yeah,
remember that. You're going to that and stuff.
yeah, that's my crew. I
But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I just I wanted to chat with you about it because I really did want people to see that, trucking can take you farther, and how it's helped you go into other jobs and do other things. So, and when you were being interviewed, how did that really help you with your interview? Did they talk about, did it help you feel get to where you are with trucking and now to where you're at now in jobs?
um, well, you remember when we did the Uber uh, talk?
Yeah, the TED
Remember
Talk
how I
one.
said that if you kept your CDL clean and
Hmm.
gold, yeah, that I think that's definitely helped my career.
Right. I think even with us, like we've been offered a couple different things. Even here in Florida, there's a company that was interested in me and Ricky for autonomous trucks. They wanted a team to be in there, which I thought was odd. I was like, I had never really heard of them having a team, but they wanted a team because to be with the truck at all, in the truck at all times. And we've had a couple people reach out. I'm not sure if I could sit and watch the truck steer. I don't know if I could do that. That's the only reason I've never went farther. I don't know if I could sit in the seat and watch the truck. I don't know if I could do that. I don't know how I'd feel about it.
Yeah. It definitely requires focus.
Right.
Even when we're not thinking about it, when we're driving, our mind is still doing something.
Right.
So even if
and you're painting your mirrors, you're always doing something, and you were kind of taught that, and
and you still have to do that, but it requires a lot of concentration.
It's just habit, though, to hold on to the steering wheel and know that you're doing that. So I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could sit there and let the truck steer. That, I don't know. That would be weird for me. Was it weird for you the first time it happened? Like when you were sitting there and letting the truck?
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. But back then it was, like the early days of the company.
Right. And there has been a lot of companies that's went under.
Yep.
But there is still companies around, and they're still working on the progress of everything. So
and some of them, Locomotion, which was one of the companies I worked for, they were working on autonomous convoying. So that was where Keaira and I worked together.
Yeah.
And when she got hired on, I asked them to let Keira's desk be right next to mine, so we would confuse people because our names are so similar.
Yeah. Double trouble.
Yeah.
And that's actually, and I met Keaira. I've never met in person yet. We've talked about it, but we haven't lined up to meet each other yet. But I actually met her through Kristen, and then you became friends with her as well. And then and you've met Kristen and stuff, haven't you? I don't think you've met Kristen either, have you?
No.
You guys know of each other, but never have met. But anyway, I absolutely love Kristen. But and you, like, you guys are all like family to me, and then maybe I shouldn't talk about this today, but we're going to anyway. So like, I do want your input on something with all of the trans hate and the subjects going on in our country right now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the whole gay community, LGBTQ community, everyone is being targeted. However, I do feel like there is a major focus on trans at this point right now. And, I kind of wanted to ask you what you feel about that. Like, and are you seeing that in your workspace, or are you seeing that anywhere else? Is it a good environment for you where you work, or?
I only ever see it on social media and the news.
Right.
I don't see it at work. So I don't know if it's because, I work with a lot of immigrants.
Right.
So I don't know if it's that, or we just don't discuss politics really.
Well, and I think even in Florida has so much news and so much. They paint Florida as this state that hates everyone, but there are so many trans people here, and there are so many people. The way they depict our state and put it out there, portray the state, is not how I feel when I'm here. I never, and I live in a very secluded, smaller town, and it's primarily Republican.
Mm-hmm.
But I never have issues.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a media thing and a hyped up thing. Like, they concentrate on the negative and don't really concentrate on any of the good positive things happening. We have a good Pride community. We have a monthly Pride meeting. I don't get to go to it because I'm never home, but there's a monthly Pride meeting. There's like me and Ricky, we went out to eat the other night at the beach bar, and we're obviously a gay couple, and nobody says anything to us, and we're sitting there at the beach watching the ocean. I don't feel like the way the media and social media and all that, how they put it out there. I think that's a big thing happening right now, is people like to portray that it is such a horrible place to live in certain areas, but I don't feel like it is that way when we live there. If you ask someone that actually lives there,
Right. But we also have all these policies that have been passed that
yes,
the transphobic and homophobic, and
I feel like
it's
they're enforcing them when they want to. It's
right
like
when someone complains and wants.
it's like the rally that happened here. Florida's Pride went and lobbied at the Capitol, the state Capitol, and when they did, the person was arrested for using the wrong bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
However, the weird part about that was the woman that the trans woman that was there and had done this had used the bathroom. The week prior, you have to go in order to do a protest. You have to go and petition. You have to get your permit. Is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
And they do the week before they get the permit, and they grant them the permit to do their protest, which is fine. They did it the proper way. However, that same bathroom was used by that trans woman when they were there, and it wasn't an issue then. But during the rally going on, it was an issue. And I think that it's like they're picking and choosing when to enforce things. And I think that's, I don't know. I just think it's ridiculous. People have to use the bathroom. It's simple as that. People have to use the bathroom, and trans women should not be in this is personal opinion, but trans women should not be in the men's room. It's how I feel. Like, now I understand there is a difference when you have a person that is, because they like to confuse this, and people can get mad, but I really don't care. But like, people like to confuse pedophiles with trans people and gay people. And there's a difference of someone just waking up that day, throwing on an outfit so they can go into a women's bathroom that obviously is not living their life that way. And they're doing it for ulterior motives and purposes. And they're mixing that to make it look like I feel that the trans community is doing these bad things just to be around children, and that is not the case. Like, there's a difference when you are someone that is waking up every day and you are doing everything you can to feel and make the outside look how you feel inside. That's a total difference than someone just being a pervert. Sorry, it's how I feel.
Yeah.
And they're mixing that. The media does that. I really feel they do.
Yeah, and honestly, do you think years of therapy, medication, hormone therapy,
right,
surgeries, all to go to the women's bathroom, is that worth it?
Right.
Just to do something criminal.
Now, you did your surgeries in California when you were out there.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do all of them there?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so. I couldn't remember. My mind. I'm getting old. I'm getting old. I forget things from time. I'm like, I think so. So, like, surgery wise, what was the scariest surgery for you? I mean, I know you was excited to do them, but at the same time, there had to be a moment where you were like, this is a big step type thing.
I think probably top surgery.
Was that the most painful one?
Yeah, because I had my hairline advancement.
Right.
Just up here was numb for almost a year.
Oh wow.
So that wasn't particularly painful, but here it felt like someone had clamped a board to my sternum and just cranked down on it,
like really tight.
Yeah, because the skin and the muscles got to stretch.
I remember the pictures of you bandaged up and all the other stuff, and head bandaged up, and I
Yeah,
You shared everything with me.
I look like crap, and I'm like totally worth it.
Bruises and all the stuff that has happened, and but
Yeah,
I don't feel that people, you go through these steps to be your true authentic self, and I don't think people realize what you actually go through, like on all the steps. They dismiss it like, oh, it's a surgery, whatever, it's fine. But no, you were out for like a month, I want to say, or more.
I think about that. But yeah,
Because you
you've
had
got to have
somebody
a
to
lot.
come in taking care of you. You had a friend or someone that would come and help you and stuff.
Yeah, my other sister-in-law came to visit, but she wasn't there that long because her husband back in Indiana had heart issues, so she
Hmm.
had to fly back. So for the
Yeah, but I
longest,
remember that happening. I just don't, I think people, since it's out of sight, out of mind, they think it's like, breaking a finger and it's fine. It's like it's
yeah,
over with in no time, and it's not. Like, when you take the steps to do these, each one of those surgeries took weeks, if not
yeah,
months, to the bruising to go away and all the stuff and stitches and all kind. I saw your pictures, and I just don't think people take thought into how long it takes for you to go through those processes.
yeah. I mean, it probably wouldn't have been so bad if I didn't get them all done at once.
Right.
That's a lot for the body to go through.
Yeah. You did everything at once, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm ready to get back to work. And, the company I was working for were like, whoa, slow down. You need to heal. Just take time. Your job will be here. But
So I know you're enjoying Michigan.
mhm.
Do you miss California?
Yes, I do. I miss it a lot.
Yeah.
I love the weather there. With the Mustang, it was fun in the sun all the time.
Right.
But in the Bay Area, they only have like 2 seasons. Hot and slightly
Hotter.
damp.
It's like Florida, hot and hotter. It's like,
Yeah,
and I enjoy that. So I can completely understand. It's like as I get older, when I'm driving and we have to go up to into the winter and the snow and stuff, and I'm like, I lived in this for like 30 some years, and that's the only reason I can't. It just drains me. I'm like, I can't do this. Like, and I freeze to death, and I'm so cold, and I'm just like, I don't know. So I don't know if I don't think I could go back up north and live. I don't think I could do it. I mean, I know I could. Anyone could, but it,
yeah. So I think I got rid of my Mustang in January of this year, and it was because making trips down to Tennessee to see my son for the holidays, Thanksgiving, and then bringing him back up. But when I came back up, there'd be snow on the ground, and this last year uh, on I-465, I don't know if the snow plows just hadn't bothered, or they're on strike, or what, but the roads hadn't been salted, and I-465 was a skating rink. And every time that I would, even give it a little bit of gas, the Mustang's rear end would just kind of try to slide out.
right.
And I had all season tires on it, and afterwards, when we finally got here, I started thinking that I think I'm gonna get rid of the Mustang. It was my legacy project, is what I called it, because it was a car that I wanted to pass down to my kids, but they didn't want it, and only one of my kids has a driver's license,
Hmm.
and they were kind of scared of it because of its high horsepower. So
Well, Jess has two interesting questions that he posted on here. So we'll put the first one up first, which was, do you feel that the modern era generation uses trans life as a fad to help fit in?
a fad. I don't know. I feel like it's not a fad. It's just our country as a whole has become more accepting. Maybe as a shift away from conservative values. And I
Right.
don't think that's a bad thing.
I think it's also, for me, I'm going to answer too, because I kind of also feel like we're evolving as a race. And the acceptance of things is, like Mama used to say all the time, if you don't change with the times, you fall behind. And I think that's what we're seeing, is some people are falling behind because they don't want to expand their mind to think about things. And I feel like that is part of it. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of like a thing for me that I feel. And then he has another question. It's kind of a longer one. Do you feel that someone should reach a certain age before transitioning due to brain age and maturity?
I think if you'd ask most trans people, they knew early on that they were trans, that they were different. And like when I was a kid, the help that the kids have these days wasn't available. So my dad had when I came out to him, said that he wished he had known when I was younger so that he could have gotten me help.
Right.
And I pointed out that there wasn't that kind of help available. That was, more adult oriented.
Now, your family, your parents are still in another country, right?
My dad lives in Scotland. My mom lives in Germany, and my brother lives in England. So our family just went.
So, and if I remember correctly, your father military, and you moved around?
Yeah.
As a kid growing up?
Yeah, I'm an Army brat.
Yeah. So, and how did that? You knew way back then, even then, but you still, so you got married, you had kids, and then and I know you had a wife that was completely understanding and went through everything with you, as your best friend and your partner still, and supported you, which was amazing. And then she passed away.
Yeah, she was amazing.
And and we've had many talks about that. But given your situation, I know it wasn't completely ideal, but at the same time, it was perfect for you, because anybody would want that, to have a partner that you knew still loved you no matter what, and your family loves you no matter what. They still support you. So
yeah, it was, my parents and my brother been great. Angie was amazing. Some of the other family members, not so much. I'll just leave it at that.
Right.
My sister.
You always have those ones here and there.
Yeah, my sister-in-law is, fantastic. Love her to bits.
And so you guys keep in contact still.
Yeah.
Now, isn't that where your other kids are? Is near your sister-in-laws?
No, two of my two oldest are in Virginia.
Okay. Why did I think they were up there? Were they up there for a while or something? I don't remember.
No, they used to live in Indiana. Then they moved.
Okay. That's what I thought. I was like, that's just where I thought. But anyway, yeah. So, and with everything, I think that you have a success story of your. To me, I look at it as a success story. I mean, to others, but I think it is important. Like, we talk all the time about being open, having a support group, having those good people around you, and the ones that don't accept you for who you are, then you don't have to hate them. or
Mhm.
completely bar them out of your life, but you're not instantly inviting them to the table either. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, and it's okay for someone to have their own opinions on things, but you're the person that has to live that life.
Yeah.
In your life, you're happy.
Yeah. As someone once said, you are responsible for your own happiness.
Mm-hmm. So, through all of this, did you? We talk a lot about mental health help and things like that. Did you ever seek counseling to help you with certain things?
Only for my transition.
And do
So,
you feel? So I know that, like, I absolutely love Lori. I don't know if you ever met Lori, but she's an amazing person. It was a friend of Jean Ann's. But do you ever feel? She's a trans woman, and but she was very old school and did her transitioning like 80s and 90s, pretty much. And the very early days when things were completely different,
mhm.
and requirements were different. So I kind of have a question of, do you feel that people should go through all the steps um, of like therapy and different things to make sure that they're on the right mental capacity? Because I know you did this and you had to have your doctor sign off and all this type of stuff, but some people think that you literally, as long as you have the money, you can just go out and, not trying to sound bad, but go out and anybody can have a set of tits and anybody can change their gender, and that's not technically the case. You still have to go through.
Right. For trans women, when we want to get top surgery, we have to get, doctors' recommendations, and letters from therapists, you know, and it's kind of frustrating, but I understand it.
I can remember a text literally from you with a paper up. You go, I got my paper today. I do remember this. I got my okay today. And you had sent me this text and picture of you, and you were like super happy. But I think you had to have like 2 or 3 people sign off. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, it
But
was two letters of recommendation.
so, yeah. So it's not just I have the money, so therefore I can.
Yeah, there are hoops that you have to jump through,
Right.
and it's really for your protection.
Right. And that's good. That's good that we're talking about this, because I don't think that people see Caitlyn Jenner and they think, oh, you have the money, you can just get what you want done. And it's not that case. Like, you still have to talk to a
Yeah,
doctor. You still have to have a
even
team
Jenner
of
had to jump
doctors.
through the hoops.
Right. It may have been a little bit easier for Caitlyn, but
Yeah,
still
from
they
a
had,
financial standpoint.
right, from a financial standpoint. But at the same time, they still had to go to a doctor and they still had to go through the surgeries and they still had to have the approvals to do this. And they felt that, so, and that you had the mental capacity to.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that people think that, this is, I think it's why people thinking, even going back to Jess, that this might be a fad, is because there's so many trans people right now. And I think
Right.
it's because people are finally in society feeling, we're evolving, and they're feeling comfortable enough to be themselves when they
Right.
couldn't before. We have people in their 70s that have waited their whole life and they just now want to transition at 70.
Right. And there are people that detransition and they figure out that, hey, this isn't the path for me, and that's fine.
Right.
Yeah, we shouldn't give them a hard time, but at the same time, they shouldn't be advocating against us for our own path.
I think some people that detransition, sadly enough, not even I think, I've had 2 people just here recently that literally are wanting to detransition because of the political climate right now, because of political. And I find that sad for them, because they were so happy being who they are at this moment that now they're scared of being who they are because of what is on social media and what is out there. And I hate that for them. But if that's what they feel necessary then I respect it. But it's just, I hate that for them because they really have become, I see them as their true self. You know what I mean? And they're so comfortable in their skin now that now they're going to go back and undo everything that they can't. And you can't really undo everything. So it's like,
Right.
yeah, I just find it as, it's sad that some people don't feel comfortable enough to live.
Yeah, it's hard, and I wouldn't wish that for them.
Right.
Everyone should be comfortable in their own skin and free to be who they are.
Right. You know, I mean, when I'm home, when I'm on the road, I really, you know, even when we drove the Pride trucks and stuff like that, and we're getting ready to wrap a new one, I never have. People always thought that we was going to get hate all the time, and even as a trans woman or a trans man, that's one of the first things that's asked: were you hated on, or and it may bother you on the road? And for the most part, most of the people, no. I've seen a lot of people, but nobody really had a lot. Now, there is the horror stories where some people have been followed into their truck or assaulted or raped even. It has happened, and there's been other, you know, but that can happen to anyone. It can, and if it has happened to anybody, I want to also say, you know, speak up and stand up for yourself. And if you knew who it was, you know, do the right thing and put charges against them if you can. You know, don't be scared. We're always here for you. We just get the calls from time to time, and we try to help people with that. And that's the reason we do help with 988 and Project 4, Project 6, and a couple different places across the country to get people mental health help and things that they need. But I just think it's important to talk about that but I haven't felt that way on the road. I literally, I have had more people come up, say, oh my gosh, I know who you are, or oh my gosh, I love the truck. Can I take a picture with it? We've not really had, but maybe once or twice someone said faggot in the background, but never, they would never come to my face and say something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I've never had someone really, I really haven't had a bad experience like you would think.
Yeah, I didn't either while I was trucking. I've had some really weird and surreal things happen. You know, like the day before I was supposed to fly out for the Uber event in San Francisco with you and
Right.
Vicky. I was driving along I-465, and this black pickup truck pulled up beside me and was keeping level with me. You know, and normally you're focused ahead, and occasionally you'll catch a vehicle, in the corner of your eye. And he had this sign that said, "Small, ain't it?" And I was like, "What?" And he drops back and then pulls up again, and he's playing with himself.
I get that from time to time. Yes, I do. We do get that from time to time. But I think that's a fetish thing. I do think that, and I watch the sites and all the stuff, and I think just in general, hooking up with a truck driver is a fetish for people. It's like a fantasy type thing.
Well, it was funny because he dropped back again, and he had another sign that said "Strap on play?" ? And I'm just thinking, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of fun when we were out in California together, and I haven't talked to Ellie in forever. Have you seen Ellie or talked to her?
Not here lately, but she did move for a while to San Francisco or the Bay Area and worked at a different company from me that was working on the same autonomous trucking.
Okay.
And she actually bought my old red Mustang.
You had
I traded in
3 Mustangs?
I've had 2.
2.
One was
blue and white.
One was a red 2018 EcoBoost.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was I bought that in Indiana, and then I upgraded to the blue GT when I was in California.
Yeah.
So she got the car that I traded in.
I do remember that.
Yeah, she eventually got rid of that and traded that one in for the Mach-E.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, that was fast. We already went 51 minutes. So I usually try to keep them under an hour. So before we leave, one, we need to get together at some point, somewhere, to hang out and have some fun. It's been forever. I love you and I miss you so much. And so we definitely need to hang out. But before we go, I'd like to. Is there any message you would like to say out there to people about trucking and being trans and just being your true authentic self?
Trucking, definitely a valid career. It's a great place to, figure out yourself. I would say, keep hope. Don't give up, especially in these dark times. Don't let them win.
Yes. Well, I miss you, and we will talk soon. And thank you so much for coming on today. And we will talk soon.
Should do this again.
Alrighty. Bye, everybody.